Hey everyone, Nami here, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you how you can get Follie and her primary weapon Enkaus from playing the game mode called Follie's Hunt, which takes place in the Vespa Relay in Venus. This video is all about helping you actually play her content without getting completely overwhelmed. We are going to cover how the game mode works from start to finish, the hazards and mechanics you need to know before your first run, the Warframe and operator builds that make this game mode very comfortable, and finally what you should be doing with Atramentum, the resource obtained from doing this game mode. If you felt like this game mode has been a big challenge and it's not that great, this video might be for you. So let's get into it. First things first, the access requirements. To access the Follie's Hunt game mode, the specific quest you need to have completed is Chains of Harrow. That's the direct requirement to access this content. Once that's taken care of, head to the Vespa Relay on Venus. Inside the relay, you will find the new entry point for Follie's Hunt. It's tied to the big creepy painting setup, and that's what pulls you into the mission. Alright, so let's talk about the game mode itself, because it's very different from your usual kill everything types of missions. Follie's Hunt is built around completing 3 shadowgraph canvases. These are blank slates scattered all over the relay tileset. Your goal is not to camp and farm kills. Your goal is to find 3 canvases, collect enough paint for each one, and survive long enough to fill all 3 and then extract. The number of paint charges each canvas needs scales with your squad size. For solo, it's 2 paints per canvas. 3 paints are required per canvas for duo. A trio needs 5 paint per canvas, and a full squad of 4 has to put in 6 paint per canvas. Canvas locations follow a consistent logic. Canvas A is in the main room on the first floor, which is the first room when you enter by going up. Canvas C is always on the ground floor. You can easily find one in any of the 3 to 4 rooms accessible on the ground floor every mission. Canvas B is the tricky one. It spawns in one of the side rooms branching off the main room from Canvas A, either left or right, and it can also spawn when you first launch yourself up to the first floor on the back side. Here's my first big tip, and do this every single run. Find all 3 canvases before you touch a single pane. When you first load in, there are no enemies, things are calm, and you have time to explore and mentally map your route. Once the chaos starts, you really don't want to be wandering around trying to figure out where each canvas is. Once you know your layout, then you start collecting paint. Somewhere in the tile you'll find inky floating blobs, and that's the paint. When you walk into one, the game immediately forces you into operator mode, and you cannot stay in your warframe while carrying paint, and enemies start coming to you. While you're carrying paint, your void sling is disabled. Going back to your warframe is also disabled. Once you're holding paint, your entire mindset shifts from fighting things to moving with a purpose. Spamming your roll key works the best with your operator because compared to sprinting, rolling gets you to places way faster in this game mode. The second tip I want to give you is that you want to fill the B canvas first before moving over to either A or C. And the reason for this is because after you're at the halfway mark in the mission, meaning you've filled paint on canvases 3 times if you're playing this solo, Follie starts blocking the side parts on the first floor with ink walls. Now, if you've not completed the B canvas yet, it's going to be a pain to get towards it because of these ink walls. You would have to take a longer route as an operator with paint, and enemies running behind you doesn't make it easier. Knowing this, I would recommend to always do the B canvas first. Also, another thing to mention is that after filling canvases with paint, to find the next paint blob, if you don't know where it can be located, you can easily just kill surrounding enemies that are chasing you, as they have a chance to leave a paint trail that would guide you to the next location. If a paint trail disappears midway, that means the paint blob is either on the floor above or below where you're at. To recap, find the 3 canvases first before starting the mission, collect the first paint and deposit it to the B canvas, kill enemies to find locations of possible paint blobs, complete B canvas, repeat the process from killing enemies to find the location of the paints, and complete A and C, whichever you can fill quickly. This mode is called Follie's Hunt for a reason. You are the one being hunted. Once you deposit 1 paint blob to the canvas, Follie herself spawns and begins roaming the map. Her aura does 3 things: damages you over time, slows you, and continuously drains your Warframe's energy as long you're in range. The correct response every single time you see her is simply shoot her till she teleports away or get out of range and keep working the objective. As the mission progresses, she also escalates, locking doors, spawning additional hazards, and becoming more disruptive the closer you are getting to the finish line. Don't get comfortable just because your first canvas went smoothly. Now, here's the thing. Follie isn't the only energy drain on this map. Scattered around the level are statues of Follie called facsimiles. These carry the same aura as Follie herself: damage over time, energy drain, and slow. And if you're carrying pain and walking too close to one, it can actually summon Follie to your location. You can shoot them to shrink their radius, which would give you a safer path through the room. On top of that, watch out for the tendril drones, which are the enemies that latch onto you and apply repeated stagger until you roll to shake them off. Annoying by themselves, they also nullify all your Warframe abilities if they've latched onto you. And Enkaus can lock doors and disrupt your pathing, however you can shoot them to unlock the door. The theme of all this is the same. This map is actively working against you. Learn the layout early, respect Follie's aura, keep moving, and don't let it stop you from reaching the canvas. Given everything I've just covered, I highly recommend that if you do not have an operator build that is tanky enough, you shouldn't be doing this game mode on Steel Path, as every time you die in operator while carrying paint for the canvas, you will be thrown back into your Warframe and you'll have to find a new paint blob again, which for me is the main challenge in this game mode, which is finding the paint. Follie's hunt can easily be done on normal mode with the methods I have explained. However, Steel Path does provide the extra benefit of getting more Atramentum than normal mode. You're realistically pulling 15 to 35 Atramentum in normal mode solo depending on how many Atramentum balloons you pop, which you can locate on the map with loot detector mods like an Animal Instinct on your companion. Or you can also gain Atramentum by the amount of enemies you kill. On Steel Path, you can get somewhere between 30 to 60 solo while in a party. Since squad mates are actively killing more enemies and generating more drops, you can get upwards of 70 Atramentum. Do note that Atramentum drops from balloons are all shared between squad mates, however Atramentum from enemy kills are not. Steel Path is the move for players with a good operator build. Base Atramentum is significantly higher, and with enemy drops on top of that, it adds up fast. If you can handle the scaling, run Steel Path, else as a newer player with no operator builds, normal mode could work just fine as long as you get all the drops from the game mode itself. Atramentum that you obtain can then be used with Aspirant Zorba in any of the relays apart from the Vespa relay. His shop has all Follie blueprints and also Enkaus blueprints, which is Follie's signature primary. All these parts do drop from the Follie's Hunt game mode, however, do not expect a part every single run. It could take you roughly 20 to 40 tries to get all the parts from this game mode. If you're unlucky, however, after you have collected enough Atramentum, you could just buy it out with the pity system the game has to offer. You can also buy chromatic Atramentum, which is used to change certain mod appearances. Do check it out if you're interested in changing the looks of your mod. It doesn't do anything else apart from that. As for the build, I am using Rhino. Honestly, anything that can provide you overguard or is tanky by nature would work for this mission, so Dante or Revenant are also strong options. Overguard makes you immune to most crowd controls, knockdowns and staggers as long as it's active, and Iron Skin at high strength and armor does just that. It's cast once and it passively protects you. Build strength and armor to pump the Iron Skin value and efficiency for comfortable recasting. I've also used Energy Nexus to passively give me energy if I run out, though it might not be needed if you're playing on normal mode. The two other things that I would recommend for Steel Path is Arcane Energize and also 5 Tau Forge blue shards for 225 armor each. The Arcane would give you some energy sustain and the shards would double the overguard you get from Iron Skin per cast. For the focus school, I am using Zenuric, and this again is used for energy. For the operator, the arcanes that I am using are Magus Husk for armor, which will provide me with some tankiness, and Emergent Savior, which gives your operator a second chance at life by preventing the operator from taking lethal damage and granting 5 seconds of invulnerability while regenerating health with a 90-second cooldown. If you have access to Tectolist mods, You can use Metem Hawk for more operator shields and health, and Talsek An for knockdown immunity, which would be required for your operator. The others are basically just amp damage mods if you want to use them, or you could replace any of the damage mods with Metem Arun for operator sprint speed, though most of the times you would be just rolling through the map for speed. The other mods also help a bit with the increase in health and shields you get with Metem Hawk. And that's the entire way that I was able to farm up Follie in the first 2-3 hours of launch. If this video helped make your Follie runs less painful, please leave a like as it really helps out the channel, and if you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications as I keep on making Warframe guides. Let me know in the comments what you think about Follie's Hunt and how are you liking it so far. Until next time, Tenno, stay grindy and I'll catch you in the next one.